Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are at the Murkwater Coast Site of Grace, and we still cannot level up. There's really not much else that we can do here, except possibly putting on a new Ash of War. I'm gonna try something. So if you click to put this on, you then have the choice of standard or blood. So if we keep it standard, then none of our statistics change. Everything stays the same. If we change it to blood, it changes our scaling to strength, dex, and arcane, and it lowers the amount of damage that we're doing because we are getting lower scaling. But it would change the Ash of War skill that we have. I don't really want to change that on the Uchigatana because I really like Unsheath. It's just really powerful. So I'm going to keep that the same for now. One thing that I did want to do before we get started in this episode is head over to the Church of Ella and see about upgrading our weapons. If we have any more room to do that. So let's check that out real quick. So we can upgrade the Uchigatana to a +3 and the Astrologer Staff to a +3. So that's good. We don't have enough smithing stones, but we would be able... Oh no, we didn't get that to a +3. We got it to +2. So we still need 5 more smithing stone 1s to get the Astrologer Staff up. You can upgrade your torches and shields, but that doesn't really change the damage negation. It only changes how much damage the shield would do if you use it as a weapon and are attacking. So there's really no point in doing that. Okay, so you can talk to Kale if you want to. There is some additional dialogue. I do have a plan for when I'm going to do that, so we're going to leave him for now. We've already bought everything that we have intended. So we are going to the Highroad Cave, which is going to be up here. So let's go ahead and teleport over to the Murkwater Coast and work our way up. And I will put a mark on the map just so that we know where we're going. So let's head up this way, and there are a bunch of wolves in this field. You can fight them if you want. I am going to choose not to at this time. There is another Roses statue over here, so we might as well pick that up. I think it says the same thing every time. Guide and gatekeeper for those returning to the roots. So it's pointing down here, so that means that there's going to be another catacomb nearby. But we are going to be coming over this way above it, so we will get to that catacomb a little bit later. So for now, let's head up. All right, and there are quite a few octopi. So get ready to fight them. Critical. Boom. And that did kill it. You know, the last few times I have been so close to killing it, and it still had a little bit of health left. So increasing my Uchigatana to a +3 seems to help a little bit. Okay, so that Spirit Spring will take us up to the bridge, which is the Summon Water Bridge. I don't know if that's actually the name of it, but that's the one that we were at when we met Alexander, and when we crossed the bridge that had the Mad Pumpkin head. So let's just carefully take our time and go through here and defeat the octopi and see what other kind of loot we can pick up over here. And I'm sure that we'll find some more of the exceedingly rare to find Venus lilies. Let's not explore too much because we don't want to get caught off guard with the octopus. It'd be really funny if you could jump up those without torrent. It'd be kind of like in, it'd be like in Night Rain. I think there's spirit springs in that you can jump up with, just with your character. I haven't really played a lot of Night Rain. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in any of the previous videos, but typically the games that I play are single player. I don't do a lot of multiplayer, pretty much at all. So I've tried playing Night Rain and it was enjoyable for what it was, but I just played the single player mode without being online. So, oof, let's not die. Wow, they attack fast. Let's try this again. And that's, I guess, a good example of why you should try to get their tentacles cut off. Did I get him? There we go. Yeah, they can attack very quickly. Alright, there's a Trina's Lily. Exceedingly rare indeed. There's a couple more, and a turtle. I don't think there was anything else up here. Alright, let's head on down and take this guy out, and then we'll go up that hill before we get to the cave. And if you can see, hitting them from the side, you don't really do that much damage to them. You're going to do most of your damage from attacking them on their beak. Uh-oh. Oh, he's healing himself. That was a bleed hit. Right, so that's the great dragonfly head, and we got the land octopus ovary and a strip of white flesh. Don't believe there's anything over that side. Let's come up here. I think there's one item to collect. And then we will fall down and go into the cave and finish that off. Down this way, and then turn to the right. There's a little campsite here. And this guy with a turtleneck meat. Okay. Not much of a view over there. Alright, and here is the cave. Let's go on in here and rest at the site of grace. And then we will go on in. We'll probably use our torch in here for some of it because it is pretty dark. Up, not quite there yet. So again, if you're worried about your level, feel free to use the runes that you've picked up to get yourself up enough so that you can level up. I'm not too concerned about it just because I kind of understand how the game works in terms of what makes you stronger. Yes, your weapons are going to scale with certain attributes. However, it's very possible to finish the game at level 1. I've never done it. I've started a rune level 1 playthrough. It's very difficult, but as long as you're upgrading your weapons and using the right type of equipment and talismans, you shouldn't have any problems with being strong enough. So that's why I'm not too concerned about leveling up immediately. so off to the left here, you've got that little cave, and then we'll want to go straight forward, and some cave moss. And what else is over here? Okay. Got another area here with a couple of wolves. That did not work. I think this is going to be the alpha, like the big white one. Yeah. There we go. Some more cave moss and a golden rune one. So, worth it to go in there? Maybe not. Let's keep this on. We're going to be dropping down another cave hole here. Alright, so that's where we came in. And just be careful where you're dropping. You can walk or you can roll. I'll show you. So as long as you're just like rolling into the wall, you'll fall straight down onto that platform. Fall to this platform, and that should be it. Right, and now we are at the bottom. And I believe we want to go to the left first. Yeah. Just some cave moss. Alright, and then we'll just keep going on down the cave. Right, and a couple of wolves here. Alright, so we want to end up going straight down there, but there's also a path to the left. When I was practicing, I had another wolf come up behind me, so I'm just trying to be really cautious here. Take this path to the left and come up this way. And curve to the right. And that's the wolf that snuck up behind me. Way to go, me. Alright, so before you drop down there, make sure you turn and get that wolf. And from here we pick up another exceedingly rare arteria leaf. Well, that was awesome. Oh god. Wow. Death to the wolves. Alright, so I probably should have done it the way I practiced, by using glintstone pebble and shooting them from the top. Let's try it again. Alright, so this time we don't really have to stop and kill the wolves and search everywhere, so still fall carefully. If you had a ton of runes at this point and you died, this could potentially be a good time, or an example of a good time, to use that ritual twig, I think is what it was called. Sacrificial twig. So it will break instead of you losing your runes. So as of right now I have 0, but if I die, the runes that are sitting on the ground are lost. But if I'm using the sacrificial twig, then the twig breaks and those runes stay on the ground, and I would have another opportunity to come and get them. So not necessarily a great idea to keep it on all the time, just because it does break when it's used. But if you have a lot of runes that you think you might lose, good time to use it. So we can skip that path. The main reason that we went up there was for the arteria leaf. Alright, so I'm just clicking the right stick to make sure that I get locked on, even though I can't see them. And I think that's all of them. Just those two. And okay. And that's where I died, so I'll need to make sure and get my runes. And let's go ahead and take out the alpha here. Let's get ready with an unsheath. Come on. There we go. Alright, I think I'm going to remove the shield. That way I only have to click once to go back and forth between my torch and the staff. I don't think the one up there should wake up. But we just picked up another item, a fire grease. So this one coats the armament, inflicting fire damage. Solidified grease made from a mixture of incendiary materials. Craftable item. Coats armament, adding fire damage to attacks. The effect lasts only for a short time. Okay, so now we have the ability to temporarily cover our weapon in fire. So that's pretty cool. Alright, this area is fairly dangerous, so be very careful. I think it's this one. There's one right down there, a bat. I can't get to it, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill up my FP and fall over here. So there's bat number one. Turn around and you'll see that there's a little path off to the right here, and there's a bat and that bat that will come and get you from down below. I don't know which one he is exactly down there, but just be aware of him. He can easily distract you, kill you. I think he might have been on this pillar, the higher one, rather than the lower one. So there is another bat down there. I like to just run and hit him. You can also get him from a distance, but just kind of hug the right wall so that you don't fall down. Because it is very easy to plummet to your death and get killed once again by gravity. Like me, which I do a lot. Okay, fall down to this platform, and we can actually take this guy out too. Just to be done with him. Can't reach him, so we'll deal with them later. Fall down on top of this waterfall. There's plenty of space to land. There are bats right in there. So be careful, they will swoop down, try to mess you up. Did I get them both? Did not. There we are. Okay. And inside here, we have a smithing stone level 2. A couple of octopi. And a third octopi. And a golden rune 4. Definitely worth coming in there. Walking under a waterfall does not affect your torch, so don't even worry about that. I'll switch back to my astrologer's staff. And for this waterfall, I know it seems off, but you can kind of see where the edge of the water is at the bottom. Just slowly walk off of it and fall straight down, and you'll be just fine. I don't think there's any other items down here. So just line up your jump and go on across to this pillar. And I like to do my ranged attacks just so I don't have to mess with them. You can kill both of these with ranged, or you can do a plunging attack. And we get the Shamshir, which is a pretty cool looking weapon. Let's get to the safety of this cave over here first. We'll come over here and jump, and jump. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at that weapon. The Shamshir is a curved sword. We do have the stat requirements for it. It's not going to be as good as the Uchigatana currently, because it's not leveled up. So stat-wise, it might be okay. I've never really tested this one, but it is a curved sword with a thin blade of ample length, light of weight despite its larger size. Its slicing attacks come in rapid succession. A devastatingly powerful weapon in the hands of a skilled swordman. And this one has spinning slash, similar to the falchion that we had picked up before. So let's go ahead and continue. Got some cave moss, and you can see we have another octopus. This one in a tight cave, so be very careful. There we go. Did it kill him? It did not. Alright. Heal. And he dropped an item. Got a land octopus ovary. Couple more little guys here. And I think that's it. Got no more items to pick up in there. One this way. Alright, and now we're back in that main room, big room area that we were in before. And we were picking up a Furl Calling Finger Remedy, which reveals summon signs of players from other worlds. Gold signs indicate an ally. Red signs indicate an adversary. The multiplayer session will begin once either type has been summoned. You will take on the host of fingers. So my understanding is that we have already found items for multiplayer, but those are for going into other people's worlds. So this one, I think, is for calling people into your world. So let's read the item description and then just forget that it ever exists. So this one, it reveals cooperative and competitive multiplayer signs. Co-op summoning signs will be shown in gold, while hostile summoning signs will be shown in red. Okay, basically the same description. So let's go ahead and continue. That item over there is one that was dropped by a bat that we hit with the glintstone pebble. So there's really nothing that we can do to pick that up. So there is a ledge right here. It looks very narrow, so just slowly drop. Be careful. And then we will turn directly left into the cave. And you can see the gold fog. We are about to go into a boss fight. So let's pick up the silver fireflies. And let's go ahead and prepare. So I've got 2 heals, which should be fine. This boss fight is not overly difficult, but if you want to use your summons, you can. They are available to use inside here. So we're going to be fighting against one of these golems. It's called a guardian golem. So if you just stick close to its feet, do your heavy attacks, charged attacks. When he starts slamming his big thing down, be careful. One of the problems that I find personally using the militia skeletons is when he does that big swiping attack. Watch how much damage I do. I love that. When he does that big swiping attack, he can kill them even if they have been downed. So typically they don't seem to last as long. I personally don't find this to be too challenging of a fight as long as you know what you're doing, and using charged attacks, jump attacks, things that are going to do a lot of posture damage and knock him down. So now we have the blue dancer charm. Let's take a look at that one. So this raises attack power with lower equipment load. So the equip load on the right side, the less we have, the more this increases our attack power. I don't know how those calculations work, but if you want to test it out, that's cool. There might be videos on it, but I've never really looked into it, as I typically try to stay at a medium, as close to heavy as I can. This is a cloth doll depicting a dancer garbed in blue. An ancient heirloom of some sort. Raises attack power with lower equipment load. The dancer in blue represents a fairy, who in legend bestowed a flowing sword upon a blind swordsman. Blade in hand, the swordsman sealed away an ancient god, a god that was rot itself. Love the descriptions of the items in this game. I'm not sure if you heard it in the background, but there was a pretty big lightning strike near my house, so Hopefully that will not affect my recording. But anyway, now that we have done this, we want to come back out here, and I'm going to show you on the map where we're going to go. Okay, so now we're going to head back to the Murkwater Coast site of Grace. We're going to do a little bit over here in this field. Actually, I think we already did what we need to. We're going to come down here to this camp. We'll clear that out. And then we're going to ride back across and head to the Church of Ella one more time. And this is when we're going to talk to Kale. So let's go ahead and do that. Because we haven't rested, or did we? Yeah, we did rest when we first went in, so the enemies have respawned. Not a big deal. You can fight them again as you come out if you'd like to, but there's really no need. And I think we can actually just take this up and still be able to get to where we're going. Yes, that was so close. So that's one of the red scarabs. It'll just get us the our healing flask back. So you can take on that troll if you'd like, but there's really no need. I don't think that there's an item down there. So did I go up too high? I think I might have. Well, there is an item down there. Oh, screw it. Let's just fight this guy. Ollie. Jeez, dude. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to kill you. There we go. Knocked him down. Okay, let's get the critical and see if we can kill him with that. Nope. So this guy has quite a few attacks. Sometimes he'll stomp, sometimes he'll just slash at you. Once you get his health down enough, that was a bleed attack. You could see the blood come off of him. If you get his health down far enough, he will pull out his sword like that and attack you. So, where was the item? There it is. So, let's just go this way and fall down here. Did I miss something? No. Sorry, I'm like wiggling my camera around a whole lot. This item probably isn't even going to be worth it, is it? Totally worth it. Always worth getting smithing stones. Alright, so now we are getting close again to the site of Grace. This is that field I said that there were a bunch of wolves. There might be some items in this field. We're going to make a mad dash for the site of Grace anyway, so I guess that's worth it. It's right over here. Whee! Alright, let's go ahead and rest, and then we will make our way to that camp, clear it out, and then go visit Kale. And we do have the ability to level up, so let's get that. I'm doing good, making good progress there. And I personally feel like I'm making pretty good progress in the game. So, I'm happy with how things are going. Every episode is a little different, obviously, in terms of how good I feel about things, but for the most part, overall, I'm pleased. This camp is not the easiest. There are quite a few of the Canaanites, including one that's on a horse. He's on the other side. So summoning your ashes, definitely not going to hurt. How did he not see that? Alright, well, let's backstab him. And then we'll just back off and let our skeletal militiamen take him down. Just kidding. Good attack, man. And we got the dismounter. That's the sword that they use. There we go. Alright, leave the horse alone. And then we got another cookbook. So this one is the Armorer's Cookbook. And let's read the description before we move on. Hello, skeleton man. Okay, so we got the Dismounter, which is a curved great sword. And we need 19 strength to be able to use that one properly. But our strength right now is at 11, so 1.5 times that. Uh-oh. Whoa, that guy just jumped onto that horse. That's cool. I have never seen that before. That was cool. I hit that guy in midair with my unsheath. That was awesome. I have never seen one of the Caden Knights jump onto an empty horse before. That was so neat. Yeah, back off, dude. Trying to read item descriptions here, man. Okay, and another thing that you can do with your summons is you can push the triangle and to the right, and you can send them away. So if you're ready for them to be gone and you don't want to just ride off, you can send them on their way. So let's go ahead and read the item description real quick for the Dismounter. That is a curved greatsword wielded by the brawny sellswords of Caden. Combines the blade of a scimitar and the heft of a hatchet. A difficult to handle weapon that demands much of the wielder's strength and dexterity, but with practice and ability it can serve as a versatile weapon even on horseback. And this one also has the spinning slash as its ability. So 1.5 times 11, half of that would be 5. So yeah, we might, no, we wouldn't be able to. So we would have to have a little more strength to even be able to use it two-handed. So what was the other one? We got this. Whoops. The Armorer's Cookbook. The record of crafting techniques left by an armorer who served the great General Radon. Contains knowledge of dealing with rot, the application of fire in particular. So this gives us fire grease, drawstring fire grease, and a fireproof dried liver, which is going to give us some fire resistance. Let's take a look at the map real quick. Kind of want to run through here real quick just to see if there is anything. Can't quite remember. For some reason when I was practicing, I was thinking that that was the area that the that big windy hill where all of the trolls are. But this is a different field, so... Oh wow. Lightning. Which means we have new crafting item. This one is called Fulgur Bloom. You can get hit by the lightning, so be careful, but this is obviously a very good place to farm it. So we got that, and I'll read that in a moment, and that moment is now. Fulgur Bloom. It blooms in lightning-struck lands. Yellow flower that grows in lightning-struck lands. Material used for crafting items, imbued with traces of lightning essence. So I think it's pretty obvious what type of items that will be crafted using that. And let's see. Not sure if we can get up to the top of that one, so... Alright, well, that was a good thing that we came over here. And that is the Gatefront ruins. And now we can head over and talk to Kale. Well, we can ride over there and enjoy our peaceful ride, or we can fast travel. So there's the swords that we found. I don't think reading them again is really going to tell us anything new, but let's take a look anyway. Godric the Golden humiliated, having tasted defeat by the blade of Mikola, now on his knees. So I know we've heard the names before of who these are. Godric the Grafted, the one up in the castle. The Blade of Mikola is a character that I think we've heard the name, but I don't think that they have been referred to yet as the Blade of Mikola. So we'll learn more about that as we progress in the game. So let's go ahead and get to the church, talk to Kale, and then get to our next destination and end there for the episode. I don't like the way this guy's looking at me. I'll defeat him on horseback. Godric soldiers, gauntlets. That was another thing I had meant to do at the beginning. I wanted to look at the equipment and see. Yeah, we're currently using the best of those. We'll put that on because it gives us more physical damage negation. Those are the same. Alright. So not looking terrible, but not looking great. We'll get much better armor in terms of stats and looks at a later time. So we're not going to buy anything from him. We're just going to go through his dialogue. So let's see. Level. Perfect. 2 more levels, and then we can decide what we'll do next. And I know we picked up some smithing stones, but I don't think that we got enough. Not quite. We still need 1 more. So if he has any for sale, we can buy one. I'm pretty sure we already snatched him up, though.
You're back. Care to buy something?
Maybe. Purchase. No, he doesn't have any, but we should be able to get some soon. Alright, so now we want to ask him about the howling that we heard in Mistwood.
The howl of a wolf. In the Mistwood. I suppose he must still be skulking about. I know. Why not meet him for yourself? Next time you hear the wolf's howl, make this signal right under the source. Oh, don't fret. There is nothing to fear. I just have an inkling the 2 of you might hit it off.
Okay, so we just got the finger snap.
Goodbye for now.
Alright, so we got finger snap, and he said to do that when we are under the source, I think is how he worded it. So let's go ahead and put that on finger snap. So we will confirm. There we go. So we'll go back to the Mistwood and do the finger snap where we heard the howling and see what happens from there. All right, so I think I am going to end it here. Next time we are going to head down this way and to the coastline. So there's a few things to pick up over here. There's another merchant we're going to meet. We're going to come all the way down, and then we'll go and do a cave somewhere in this area-ish. So let's go back to the site of grace, and we will go ahead and end the episode. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time.